see feelings change. I had no one to hold me close when I was feeling pain.
I want to welcome y'all to the first episode of Trench Talk TV, where we try to explore, educate, and exhibit perspectives from trenches all over the place. And here today with us, we have a man, some may know him as a politician, some may know him as an activist, author, or even an educator. Ladies and gentlemen, a man of many hats, I'd like to introduce you all to Mr. Lyle Montgomery.
How y'all doing out there, man? Thanks for having me on Trench Talk.
Man, Trench Talk TV, happy to have you. We've been trying to get this together for a minute. Now we got you here. You got an interesting story, man. You're not a rapper or whatnot. A lot of people might not know you. Could you please introduce yourself to us?
Man, I'm Lyle Montgomery. Currently, I'm a city councilman in Zachary. I'm just a guy from the neighborhood, man, that decided that I wanted to do what's right for my people. I wanted my people to have adequate representation inside these rooms, and I want them to have somebody that's gonna speak up. So I'm here, man. I was born at Earl K. Long. My people brought me back to Zachary. I've been living in the avenues ever since. I got 9 brothers and sisters from my father, Ernest Montgomery, my deceased mother, Janice Montgomery, Janice Butler Montgomery.
So you're born in Zachary, 9 siblings. That's all on your mama's side?
Yeah, 9 siblings with my mama and daddy, 5 girls, 5 boys, and my daddy got like 4 outside, man. Papa was a rolling stone.
So about 14 siblings, and where you fell in that lineup?
I'm number 8.
You one of the babies?
Yeah, I got 2 under me by my mom and daddy, but I got like 3 under me by my daddy.
Man, that many siblings. And what year were you born?
I was born in 73, man. You got me telling my age on here.
Oh, man. Reganomics at its finest.
Oh, man. Nixon, Reganomics, Carter. I've been through it all, man.
So, Nixon, Reagan, you born 14 siblings. Was it a single parent home? Did you have both parents?
Well, up until I was 6, I had both parents, but like a tragic situation took my mama from me, you know.
All right. Growing up before we get to that tragic incident, how was that growing up for you? One of the babies of all those siblings.
Man, I ain't gonna lie to you. Growing up with those siblings, they help you get through the pain, man. Like, it was fun growing up. They gave me a lot of inspiration. It was like I matured faster than everybody else because my older sister is like 9 years older than me. So I was getting game that the rest of those kids wasn't getting. So I would say I grew up a lot faster than the average kid at my age.
What would you say y'all financial state was at this time? Would you say y'all were middle class?
Man, we was under the lower class, man. We was poor. Like, we don't even get the other OR. We was poor.
Poor?
Poor. Yeah, we couldn't afford to put the OR on that sentence.
I think you had a lot of what do you call it? Air pudding?
Air pudding when you get sleep for dinner, man.
Sleep for dinner, that's what it is.
Yeah, so man, the struggle, man, I embrace it because it made me who I am, man. It made me appreciate life. Makes you appreciate the little things.
Do you feel like, did you know that you were poor growing up?
Oh yeah, I knew I was poor. It wasn't no secret.
Didn't bother you one way or another? You had family though.
It didn't bother. We had family, man. We played. We made slingshots. We played marbles with rocks, footballs with socks. We made the basketball rim out the 20-inch tie rim. Yeah, we figured it out, man.
Sound like y'all were pretty tight knit.
Yeah, when you poor, you create things you wouldn't believe. Your mind, you use your mind, to think, and I appreciate that. I appreciate my mind during those times.
6 years old, you said a tragic event happened. Can you walk us through that?
Man, I'll walk you through that, man. When I was 6, man, my mom and my dad, they would fight all the time because my dad, he wanted to run the streets. He had 10 kids. My mom was working like 2-3 jobs, nurse. I know she worked at Bell South, which is now AT&T, right?
Right.
So she worked, man. She come home, he wouldn't be there. Every time, any money laying around, he would take it. Like my dad was suffering from addiction, drugs and alcohol.
So he was a joint. I got you.
Yeah, so of course you know how that story rolls. So one night, my mom had some money for my sister, and my dad had took it. They got into the argument. They got into a fight. So they was fighting, arguing. So my dad decided he wanted to go to his car and get a gun. Came back and he shot through the bedroom door, and he landed all the shots inside my mama. Like they had fought, and my mama had hit him with this. They said it's a weight thing that you stretch, and she bust him in his head. So he had a big old, his head was leaking. So it's safe to say he was kind of out his body, out his mind.
Did they always used to fight like this?
Well, they would fight, but it wasn't like that.
This was different.
Like this night, it was just, I think she had reached her point, man. She had 10 kids she trying to take care of. Then you like, my daddy, you running with all these women, So of course, it kind of took the toll on her. And I guess she was fed up with it. And then they fought, but then the devil got a hold of the manuscript. And he interjected his piece into it, right?
Right.
Which was, get the gun, shoot through the door. And my mom was dying. As she was dying, I run down the hall. When I see her, she spent her last breath telling me to get out the room. She didn't want to see me like that. My older sister, Tanya, was cradling her, asking her to repent for her sins, all that, so I saw all that.
And how old was your sister at that time?
If I was 6, she might have been 15.
And she was cognizant enough to tell your dying mother to repent for her sins.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
yeah,
deep.
because we grew up in the church, man. So, it's one thing like my grandmother made sure we was in the church, throughout our whole life. Because, my mom was working, dad wasn't at home. So we spent most of our time with our grandmother and our grandfather. My grandfather died in like 75,
The day that happened, how did that affect you going forward? As a 6-year-old child, your dad not being around, being raised by your grandmother, but being real close to your mom, how did that affect you psychologically?
Well, psychologically, man, I was distraught. I cried myself to sleep all the way up until I was like 12, man. I used to just cry, I would pray, wish mom was coming back. Psychologically, I was hurt. When you hurt, you lash out. I lash out on people. Back then, people would play the dozens. Like, in school, if you talked about my mama, that was an automatic punch in the mouth. So eventually people learn, like, not to play with us like that.
Right.
But I came to the grips that, man, I was young. We never got counseling. And we had to really just figure this out on our own, man. And that was a really big deal, man. But I went through a lot. But my sisters and brothers, they kind of made it. We was a close knit family, so like playing kind of took it off our conscience. Like, for instance, me and my brothers, like me, Craig, Mark, we grew up like 2 years apart from each other. So we was real competitive with each other when it came to football, basketball, anything. We would compete, we would play. And then I had a praying grandma, man. I had a grandma at 70-something years old, took in 10 kids, and the only thing that she could give us, a hopeless kid, no mother, no father, all she could give us was God. Like, that's why my faith is so strong, because I've seen God's work. I've heard my grandmother praying, and I've seen her go to the mailbox and find a check. Like, we was, back then, it's the first and third.
Right.
Only time money was coming was the first and third. Like, for her to go to the mailbox any other time and get a check, like, that's nothing but God, man. So she really instilled that in us, and I got to give it up to God. Like, without God, man, I wouldn't be here.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
What year did that happen?
That was 1980. October 11th, 1980. My mama died October 11th. My birthday is October 18th. She was buried on my birthday.
Jesus.
So every birthday, that's what I gotta think about. Like, for a long time, I ain't even care about my birthdays. You know?
I don't believe I care too much about it either. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. 1980, 14 siblings. Your mom's passed. Your dad, he's did he get arrested? He's going to jail?
Yeah, he went to jail. He did 7 years. Now in 1980, I didn't have 14 siblings. You give it up, but I had 10.
I got you.
Yeah, like we had 10, and I think we had like 2 more on the side. But we didn't really know about them in 1980.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha. All right, your dad, you said 7 years.
Yeah.
You all are of age now. You said you cried yourself to sleep many nights. You lashed out in school. How did that affect your social skills in school actually?
Like I was withdrawn to a certain point, but like I went to Zachary High, man. Like to be honest with you, like I think then the population might have been 85 white, 25 black. Like we pretty much stick to the people that we knew back then.
Right, 1980.
You know, there's a lot of segregation going on in Zachary. You know, like I love baseball, like sports. I learned to write. You know, I wrote poetry, short stories. Like that was my therapy. My therapy was writing.
You developed that early.
Yeah. I had to develop something. I had to have an out. If I didn't have an out for all that pain, you were gonna act out. You know, and if I didn't write it down, or if I didn't really deal with it, then man, I would be a mess. A mess inside.
All right. Years passed. Did you finish high school?
Almost definitely. I graduated from Zachary High in 1991.
Your mom passed. You get in high school. You finish high school. At what point did you dabble off into the streets, jump off the porch per
Well,
se?
I'm gonna tell you. So my mom died in 1980, right? So I was 6 when she died, 7 when they buried her, right? So 7 years later, my grandmother died who took care of us, right?
All right.
When my grandma died, I was 14. I was in the 9th grade. So in the 9th grade, like after that, I went through this I don't care stage, you know? So I went through the I don't care stage. I'm in the streets. Crack is making its way to Zachary. We don't have money. I'm hungry.
You were in 9th grade at this time? You were in 9th grade at this time?
Yeah, I'm in 9th grade. This is like 87, 88.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm hungry. I ain't got no food to eat. So of course, my big cousin gave me the pack, told me I could make some money doing that. I went, moved the pack, came back, and before you know it, I was scoring my own packs. You know, me, my brothers, cousins, all us started, you know what I mean? But that was Reganomics, which I know that drug was placed in our neighborhoods, which is proven, you know what I mean, by Rick Ross and Danilo Bland. If you go look up all that, you know, you'll read all that, you'll see during that time, that's when they was flooding crack into all the neighborhoods and destroying our neighborhoods, man.
9th grade, crack hitting. You coming into your own as a adolescent. How was it outside for you, man? You making money now. High school, you got ego coming into play. You got money in your pockets. How was that for you?
Man, I remember being in the 10th grade with about $9,000 in my pocket, man, sitting in school, breaded, like my cousins, all them, like a lot of my people, when they started making that money, school became obsolete for them. You know, but me, I knew what was written, and I knew my grandma and my mama. I went to school for them, because to be honest with you, I had lost interest in school, but they kept me in school, and I was always pretty savvy. I was a reader, so like reading and making grades. That was kind of easy for me in high school.
Right.
You know, so of course, you know, I went through the phase where I didn't care. It was what it was. Young, adolescent. We got all this money. My cousins, we all got motorcycles. You know, so we balling, man. And 17-year-olds, money, balling. We had some people that was on drugs who owned the pawn shop in Zachary. They had outfitted us with all the guns you wanted. AKs, SKs, Uzis, everything.
At this age, had you had any run-ins with the police? Had you been arrested?
Well, no, I hadn't been arrested because I knew how to move. Like, I wasn't an arrogant, cocky type. I was a laid-back, humble type. You wasn't gonna find me on the block, giving the police the finger, all that. I understood economics. And I knew in order to be out here making money, you don't show your face. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So they never really pinpointed me in my face. Now, some of my brothers, cousins, all that, they saw them in the streets. They was affiliated. But at the same time, I was an athlete.
Yeah.
I was still playing baseball
I was
as well.
gonna say those aren't usual.
I did lose interest in baseball, which when I think about it, if I'd had the right guidance, there's no telling where I'd be in baseball. But I still thank God for my life, you know. And man, my grandma died. I didn't care. I'm in the streets. So one day, I was 17. 17, we on the block. We had just scored us I think we had got us a 9-piece, man. Anybody know what that mean? Like 17-year-old to come up on a 9-piece, man. You kind of own your way.
You in it?
Yeah, you in it to win it, you know. So one day I'm out there on the block, man, and we got a family member that we found out was on drugs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she comes up to me, my cousin, them trying to buy some drugs. So I'm like, no, man. Get off the block. You don't need to buy no drugs, man.
Out of the blue.
Yeah, like, get the hell away from here. What are you doing? Don't buy it. I'm not selling you nothing, right? So my cousin, my brother and them, they served her, and they was like, she gonna get it from somebody else. Anyway, we might as well get the money. That hurt me, bro. I was like, I know we bigger than this. I know this ain't right. So, man, you know, God was playing tug of war inside of me.
Right.
Right? So I was like, that did something to me, man. What? That did something to the inside of me to where I was like, man, this ain't us. This not what we supposed to be doing.
You came to a fork in the road.
Yeah, and so I got on my motorcycle. I had a Ninja 500 motorcycle, and I just took off riding through the Baker-Zachary stretch. And in the DMV that we got now in Baker,
yeah.
they had a Navy recruiting office. So I go in that Navy recruiting office, and I'm like, man, if I don't get out here, man, I'm gonna be dead in jail, man. So he's like, well, I really can't get you in until you take the ASVAB test. So I was like, man, give me the test now. He's like, no, it don't work like that. So you gotta study for this test and get ready for this test. I'm like, man, I went to Zachary, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's something about going to Zachary, you feel.
Right.
It gives you a level of confidence.
Right.
You know? So I was like, man, give me this test, man. So he's like, all right. He gave me the test. I scored high on the test. So he's like, what you want to do in the Navy? I was like, man, I want to work with weapons. So I had a job in the Navy called a TMT, Tomahawk Tech. Torpedoes made Tomahawk Tech. I deal with all the weapon systems on board the ship. My specialty was Tomahawks. I had a secret clearance in the Navy. Now, in the Navy, I met some mentors, some wonderful black men, because, you know, like where I was from, I didn't really see no good black men.
Right, I was going to ask,
I mean?
how was that transition?
I had a transition, you know, when somebody call you out and you bull crap, you get mad at first, right?
Right, always.
You don't really like it. But they called me out on my bull crap. I ain't like it, but at night, when you sitting in that bunk and you looking up at that ceiling, life starts to hit you like it's some stuff you're gonna change, you know. So I had TM1 Farmer, Cedric Former, Tim One Tony, Tombstone, Rick, Chuck, all my people, man, Chill, Lit Cat from Texas, Lit J, all them, man. We clicked up together, man, and they really helped me transition through all that pain. You remember the movie Antoine Fisher?
Right.
You remember how Denzel was helping them?
Movie.
Yeah, like that. I was Antoine Fisher, man. Like, I was hurt, didn't know how to deal with it. I was a man-child trying to lash out.
For those who don't know, can you tell us what a man-child is?
A man-child is a man with a child's mind, still trying to blame the world and the situation on his problems when it's all about the choices that I was making.
Right.
I was choosing to make them choices. I was using my mama's death as an excuse. I was using my grandma's death as an excuse. I was using growing up as an excuse to perpetuate a negative cycle. I had to come to grips with that. I had to accept that my life was what it was. Mama ain't coming back. Grandma ain't coming back. Daddy did what he did. What you gonna do? You look in the mirror, look at self, and you gotta self-check yourself. So I had to rise out of the ashes like the phoenix. Like, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna wallow? Am I gonna be a victim of my environment? Or am I gonna press on? So, man, in 94, I had my son, and that kind of changed my whole world. Because I knew I didn't want to pass down them same demons I went through to my son. You know, so that's what I did, man. I stayed focused, and, man, it took God, it took a lot of knowledge, it took a lot of reading, it took a lot of talking to people, it took a lot of mentorship, and, man, I thank God that he spared me. By the grace of God, I'm here. Because a lot of my friends, they ain't here, man. They either in jail or they dead, you know.
Speaking to that, all right, you go to the Navy, you do your term. I believe you mentioned you were honorably discharged.
Yes, sir.
You honorably discharged from the Navy. You come back home to the society that you left 4 years prior. How was that transition?
Well, man, coming home, you leave your neighborhood, right? Like, crack had just hit in like 80, 86, 87, you know, in Zachary. And, like, when I left in 91, right? Mm-hmm. It was just starting to take its toll, but I didn't see the ramifications and the full view of it, you know? So, man, when I came back, when you see people you looked up to, you know, the OGs on the block, all them, when you see them strung out on drugs, when you see them doing crazy stuff for drugs, when you see family dynamics tore apart, prominent families, when you see black men who can't feed each other, like it did something to me. And I realized that I got to do something. I got to do something to give back. Because at the same time, I was part of the problem. I perpetuated that negative cycle. So when I decided to come back home, it was like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to help my people, and I'm going to promote positive. I'm going to promote peace. I'm going to promote education. I'm going to promote knowledge, man. And that's what I chose to do.
Were your family and friends receptive to the newfound person that you came to be at this point?
Well, yeah, most of them, but you know, you're going to have haters, bro. No matter what you do, people do not like change. They want you to stay the same way. Like, hey, you know, you're going to get the saying is, man, I want the old L back. And I'll be telling them, man, the old L is gone, bro.
Right.
It's a new day. And I tell people, like, change is growth. The minute you stop changing, the minute you stop growing is the very exact minute where you start dying, right? Flowers, they change, you know what I mean? Because they grow. The minute we stop getting knowledge, the minute we stop changing and improving ourselves, we begin to die.
Man, that's deep. You complete your 4 years in the Navy.
Yeah.
You back in the hood with this newfound knowledge, this background? Did you got a street background now? You went and got discipline. You got this tactical background now. What direction you looking to go into at this point? I believe you mentioned college.
Okay, so when I came out the Navy, I used my GI Bill, right? And I went to Southeastern. First I went to Southeastern. I did a year of Southeastern, then I transferred to Southern, and I took up psychology with a concentration in substance abuse, because I wanted to know how the mind worked, right?
Right.
I wanted to know, like, and it was all stemming from my father. I was trying to understand what would make a man, right, with 10 kids, do drugs, and then make that drastic mistake. You know what I mean? But I realized, you know what I mean, he was out his body. The influence, like when you think about drugs, when I learned about drugs, I learned that drugs is potions, pharmacy, pharmacy, all that stems to witchcraft. When I got all that, supreme knowledge gives you supreme responsibility, and it opens your mind up to learn your environment. And I started accepting certain things. Like now, bro, me and my dad cool, you know, it's like I had to learn to forgive. Cause like unforgiveness in your heart is like a virus. It's gonna eat you up inside. Like I had all that hate. Remember I told you I had to throw away? I wanted to kill my daddy. Like all that hate. And when I had my son, I don't want to pass that on to my kids. Cause that's what we're gonna end up doing. Passing on our kids through substance abuse and abuse. And I wanted my son and my children, I want them to see something different in life.
How hard was that as a young black man of your stature, confronting your dad after all those years, after knowing he hadn't killed your mom, after knowing that changed the trajectory of your life? How was that confronting him? You say y'all cool now. How was it?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, like, remember when I keep telling you, with knowledge, understanding comes accountability and responsibility, right? So I'm spiritual, right? I grew up in the church. So when Peter asked Jesus, how many times should we forgive? Jesus was like 70 times 70, right? So here I am every night saying my prayers, asking God to forgive me, but I can't forgive the person that has wronged me. And through forgiveness, I had to understand the whole situation.
Right.
Like I had to look at that situation in real time.
Right.
Like remember I told you, my dad that got hit in the head with a blunt object.
Right. You actually had to take your bias out of it.
Yeah, I really did. And like it was complicated at first, but that's when I told you, the man child can't do that.
Right.
Right? So with all the knowledge that I got, I had to understand that, okay, man, my daddy didn't wake up that day and say, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna kill these children mama. He didn't set out to do that day. You know what I mean? You gotta understand that we don't fight against flesh and blood, we fight against principalities. You get what I'm saying?
There's a spiritual warfare going on out
So
here.
that's why I started studying the mental. You know what I mean? Because the body dies. It's the mind that don't die.
Right.
You know what I mean? So once I learned that, once I figured out that, man, sat down, talked to my daddy, forgave my daddy, and the weight of the world, dude, it was off my shoulder, bro. Like, I'm gonna be honest to you. I was going to Hawaii, Mexico, all these places. I couldn't enjoy them because I was mad. First thing I do when I got off the ship, man, let's find a liquor store, get drunk. You know what I mean? Let's find the good marijuana.
You was suppressing something. You was running from something.
I'm suppressing it. You know what I mean? Let's get high. Let's get drunk, right? So I knew that, but I knew, man, that this wasn't my route. This wasn't where I was supposed to be. So I had to come to grips with that. Like I tell people all the time, everybody, yeah, counseling is good. I never got counseling. I had to self-correct. And when you learn how to self-correct, like you learn that life, you could do this your own self. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Everybody say, oh, you need to find somebody to talk to. But we all know if you talk to somebody, all they're going to do is turn around and tell your business.
Right.
People don't trust people like that. So my advice to these young people going through it, I'm gonna tell you like this: you can self-correct. Write down your problems, like write down your day-to-days, what you doing today. Journal. I journal in free form, poetry, short stories. What I was going through last week, you go back and you read it when you're going through a similar situation.
Right.
And guess what you gonna say? Well, dang, bro, it was hard last week and I made it. Well, this what I'm going through now, do I can make it.
It could always be worse.
Yeah, it could be worse. Like, and going overseas, going to Mexico, like when I first hit Tijuana, when I saw them people living in a hut with a dirt floor, man, I realized, yeah, I was poor. Yeah, I didn't have a lot, but we wasn't worse than them. You get what I'm saying? We had flows in the house. We had running water. You know what I mean? We had food. It might have been commodity cheese, but I learned how to put that cheese on some toast, put it in the oven, make the best cheese toast ever. You know, you learn, man. So that's what I'm saying. If anybody out there can get this, man, you gotta check yourself. Like Ice Cube, remember the song Cube had? Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Right.
Because when you all alone, you ain't gonna get no counseling. At 2 o'clock in the morning, when the devil riding you, telling you to playing mental gymnastics with you, ain't no counselors there, ain't no sponsor there.
Right.
Preacher not gonna be there, teacher not gonna be there, mom ain't gonna be there, dad ain't gonna be there. It's on you, bro. What you gonna do?
A lot of people need to hear that, man.
Yeah. So.
A lot of people need to hear that. You come home from the Navy. You in college now. What you majored in?
Psychology with a concentration in substance abuse.
You in college, and I believe not too long after this, you began working with kids.
Yeah, I began mentoring kids in joy, because I realized that it starts with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I know kids coming from rough homes, bro. You know what I mean? Some kids, like I remember me, man, like school was where I ate at, bro. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so I just wanted to reach out, be around those kids so I can identify what they was doing and tell them the righteous route. Now, back then, they might have thought I was, man, you being hard on us, you know, because I know you got potential, bro.
Right.
And I don't want you to end up like I was. I want you to know that, hey, man, get your education, learn, go read, find out, get you a trade. You know what I mean? Because these streets, they don't care about you. You know what I mean? The streets, the cold steel will get out your hand and right into the next person. Amen.
They got
the streets love nobody.
They got a lot of lumps in the ground and a lot of people up the road doing 20s, 30s, and life sentences. Yeah. A lot of people ain't blessed with that second chance, that second thought. And man, I feel like if most people just start taking advantage of that, man, tapping in it and start actually making cognizant and conscious decisions, we'll be better off as a whole. You're working with kids now. You began teaching abstinence programs, tech programs. Could you run us through that?
Well, yeah, so my brother-in-law, Dr. Ron Jackson, my sister, Dr. Tanya Jackson, they was overjoyed. So, man, they had a program that was during the Bush era, not senior, junior, George Bush Jr., right?
Mm-hmm.
That was during his era when they sent all the nonprofit funding through, right? That was before Bobby Jindal took over Louisiana and threw all that in the trash, right? So, during that era, a lot of funding came for like abstinence, life skills, anger management, drug treatment programs, drug prevention programs, all that for kids. So, man, we had a program where we had probably over 100 kids, man. And we would help take them. I was all about, like Tupac said, this is something that never left me. He said, I may not be the one to change the world, but I can spark the brain that'll change the world.
Right.
And I was like, one of these brains could be the brain to change the world. I just gotta show them some different stuff. It was like we would take them on field trips, to New Orleans, art museums, all that. Kind of get them out their environment to see that there's different things out there.
Right.
Because you got to realize some kids really don't live the hood, lead the hood. You know, their mamas and daddies on a fixed income. Some of them mom and dad on drugs. They live with their grandma. Grandmas don't really move around like that. You know, so with that, I was all about exposure, helping the kids out, letting them see something better, exposing them to different speakers, different adults, different role models, different mentors, hoping that I could spark the brain and they could realize that, yeah, man, I can make it. A lot of them didn't listen to me then, but as I see them, as they older and they doing good, they like, man, I appreciate you, man. And I used to think, man, I wasn't reaching that dude, you know. But that's for the adults. Like, I don't judge them, you know.
Right.
Like, I'm a non-judgmental person because of the life I went through. I know that in any given situation, I'm not going to tell you what I'm not going to do.
I got you. Do you feel like it was a little pushback when you started working with youth? Do you feel like it was a hard transition for you working with them kids?
Well, you know, at first they had some parents who was like, I don't want my children around them Montgomery boys. They used to do this, they used to do that. You know, but it's like, I ain't never gave no kids no drugs, man. I ain't never even played no games like that. You know, only thing that I told them kids was, get your life right, get a job, focus on your education, and like the movie The Outsiders, one of my favorite movies, you know, Pony Boy Curtis. Stay gold, man. Stay gold. Staying gold means holding on to your innocence. Don't be in a rush to grow, man. Cause that's why I tell the kids, live at your level. Stay gold. You're a kid. These streets, they ain't for you. They're gonna suck you up. They're gonna spew you out, man.
Right.
Like that was my only thing for them. You know, and I think I reached some, you know. Some
you most
I probably
definitely
didn't reach,
some, man. I'm a product of that era right there. I sure appreciate that.
Oh yeah, man. I appreciate you, man. I'm proud of you too. Yeah. On record, you dig?
Right, most definitely. College. What pointed you to the direction politics?
Well, like I say, man, I really didn't. I'm not a politician. I never wanted to be in politics. You know what I mean? Like, politics wasn't my choice.
So it called you?
Yeah, I didn't choose to be a politician. It chose me, you know, because I was already doing stuff, helping kids get in college, helping them with their FOSPA stuff. You know, if they don't know what FOSPA is, that's the student loans and grants and paying for administration fees, all that, helping older folks with problems that they got with city government, going in there, speaking on their behalf, and just standing up for my community. Because when I got my education, I didn't get my education to run in the suburbs. I got my education to come back, each one, reach one, and teach my people and pull my people up. Because I wanted my people to see that, hey man, you can make it from here. You can make it from the avenues. You know?
What do you feel like this burning motivation, this burning desire to help your people, where do you feel like this came from?
Man, I to be honest with you, Tolliver, I be thinking about that myself, like, cause sometimes I be like, man, sometimes I wish I was just like everybody else, bro.
Right.
Go on vacation, put my foot in the sand.
Less problems.
Don't worry about it. No problems. Don't have to put my life on Front Street. All that. But something drives me inside that I can't do that. I don't know whether it's my knowledge, whether it's I know that we can do better. I know we getting messed over. It's like I can't. People perish from the lack of knowledge. And like Fred Hampton, which was one of my great studies. You know, I studied Fred, Black Panther. Fred was about power to the people.
Right.
You know, so he was like all power to the people. See me, I'm just a liaison. Right. Between government and people. Like, I don't really like this councilman stuff. You know, that's why I do and say what I want to say. I'm not bought, can't bought me. I was made before all of this. You know what I mean? No egos. Like I'm humble. Like I'm a real one. Either you're gonna vote me for me being righteous, or you're not gonna vote for me. It really don't matter to me. You know.
And I think that's why you have the following that you have and the support that you do have from your community, because we see that and we do appreciate that once again. City Councilman Lyle Montgomery, would you, at this day and point, would you say you would have done something different?
No, I wouldn't have done nothing different, man. Everything I did was strategic and thought out. Even though people might think I was doing it on a whim, no, I knew exactly what I was doing. It was well thought out. From me holding the gun up to the mayor's son who was bullying me, from me exposing the teacher.
We're gonna get to that.
Everything was well thought out.
Since you've been in politics, man, you've made the news. I know you were back there, you were down there front lines for the Alton Sterling March. You were I ran across an article that said something about a Zachary councilman waving a gun, something about the mayor's son. It was another article. Councilman calls for resignation of a teacher. Man, you've been pretty busy since you've been in office, huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, when you challenge the status quo, and especially when you're a black man in Zachary, they were never used to nobody challenging them, especially not a black man. So their job was to try to assassinate my character. But what they failed to realize, I wrote a book called Avenue Blues. I exposed everything about me in that book. So there is no assassinating my character. It's kind of like Eminem in that movie when he rapped about himself.
8 Mile.
Yeah, 8 Mile is like I put my life on fire for y'all to behold it. So you can't assassinate my character. So I'm gonna break it down with the gun situation, right? So I'm big on respect, cause I don't disrespect people, right?
Likewise.
I'm never. But if I'm disrespected, then I will become disrespectful. That's just how it is, you know.
I like to believe that's the way of America.
Yeah. Like America, they wanna tell you not that we nonviolent. I never told y'all I was nonviolent. I was in the military. For me to say I'm nonviolent, that's an oxymoron. At 17, they put a rifle in my hand.
Complete contradiction.
Now, I cannot have a gun in my hand to defend my family. So, with the gun situation, you got the mayor who was stealing money. His son comes threatening me about coming to one of my houses, right? Both of them. I'm going to put your address out. I'm going to come to your house. Man, I'm from the hood, man. We don't play them kind of games. I didn't play it in the hood, and I don't play it in politics. Coming to my house, I got a daughter, granddaughters, all that. If you come to my house, I'm going to knock your head off. Take it how you want it. It is how it is. Now, the same mayor, Imran, you the same person, your father, who was a Ku Klux Klan member, y'all own the cotton gin in Zachary. It's facts. Look it up. I got it all. I got receipts for all of that, right? If you own a cotton gin in the 1800s, who you think running the cotton gin?
The master?
Okay. Yeah, so Imran them, right? My dad beat up some white boys a long time ago. So they sent them men in them sheets to my house, right? So now it's 2021. Your son talking about coming to my house? Man, play with me as you want. Play with me, come to my house if you want, and you gonna get your issue. So I can fight for the military, right? But I can't fight for my own home. See, I showed them that a black man has a right to bear arms just like anybody else. But it's a stigma when the black man hold up a gun. The same stigma during Reagan, when he was the governor of California, when the Panthers, when Huey and Bobby Seale and them had them guns up. That's where the gun laws come from. It's not about them. They don't want us with guns. They try to vilify me because they don't want everybody thinking like me, right? We all got a right to defend our family. That's why everybody was like, oh, well, man, you gonna get in trouble? How? I knew what I was doing. I know the law. Ain't nothing you can do.
Man, that's crazy. I see they try to throw you under the bus. Something about a teacher was molesting a student, and they tried to. I remember watching a couple of articles and interviews about it. Why were they so upset with you that you were shedding light on this?
Yeah.
Why? Why do you think?
Hey, I'm gonna tell you why, man.
That was an adult molesting a child, correct?
Yeah, it was an adult molesting a child, right? So the police had a video. They took them 2 weeks to look at, see the woman. She was a teacher. She was molesting a middle school student, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the woman had videos in her phone. Police got her phone, looking at the videos. I'm talking about explicit videos. It take you 2 weeks to look at some explicit videos to lock somebody up. They was trying to sweep it under the rug. So then they gonna send the principal to send me an email trying to put me in my place. I have no place. They picked the wrong one to play with that day, and they got exposed. So they still went to attack his character. They thought it was business as usual. He's gonna be scared. He gonna back down. Fear don't live in me, man. I only fear one person, and that's God. I don't fear no mortal men.
Do we know has she gotten any time for her offense yet?
Well, that's still in litigation, and I respect the family wishes by not speaking on that part of it.
I got you.
Yeah.
Man, I want to know how. Man, you had a lot going on in your lifetime.
Yeah, man.
Man, how relative is financial gain to your whole cause of campaign? Because a lot of people have dreams and aspirations and stuff they want to do, yet a lot of black people in our community, we lack resources and or capital being money. Would you feel like financial gain? I want to know how much financial gain had a hold on your situation.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like growing up, nobody teaches us about credit scores, bro. Nobody. Like in the black community, we don't talk about credit scores. You know what I mean? We don't talk about saving. You know, but like I have to tell people, like when you poor, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people be like, oh, you need to save money. How, man? How we gonna save money when you barely got enough for the bills?
Right.
You know, all that, you save 10%, 15% of your paycheck, you do all that. How when you making $1,200 a month and you got $1,600 worth of bills? You get what I'm saying? So you gotta meet people where they at, man.
Right.
Like, it's kind of hard to do that. But like I do tell people, like, education is your great equalizer. It's free. You can get the education, educate yourself on financial wealth, stocks, bonds, investing, saving your money, credit scores, interest rates, all that. Like, we need to talk about that more.
You know, these days the game is to be sold, not to be told.
Yeah, but I'm gonna give you the game for free, man. You know,
Right.
Like, everybody that's trying to start their business, you know, LLCs, go to the Secretary of State website, Louisiana Archives, get you a business, copyright your business, get your name. You can do all that on the website, LLC, non-profit, whatever, man.
Tax ID number. Don's and Bradstreet numbers.
Don's number. If you want to get grants, like everybody come at me about writing grants, you need an EIN number and a Don's number, which means you need to set up your business account.
Sound like people want money with no plan.
Yeah, you ain't got no plan. You know what I mean? It's like, and the people that do know the game, they not sharing it with our people. And it's our own people that don't want to see people raise up. Like me, I want to see everybody make it. You know why? It's enough money and opportunity out here for everybody. What's for me is for what's for me. What's for you is what's for you. What's in your pockets ain't gonna stop me from getting what's in my pockets. See, we gotta stop that. You got people who got CDLs, trucking business, don't want to share that with nobody.
Right.
People who got all these business. Man, come on, man. Open the playbook up. Give somebody the playbook. You can't take that to the grave with you.
Dr. Martin Luther King died and ain't leave nobody the blueprint.
Yeah, man, you can't take nothing with you, man. You know?
Man, I want to know, if Lael Montgomery wasn't city councilman, wasn't doing what he was called to do, what you think you would be doing?
Man, I'm retired Tolliver. I would be somewhere in the beach, sipping on a daiquiri with my feet in the sand. Like, straight up. You know, I only do this for the people. Like I say, I didn't want this cup. You remember when Jesus went in that garden and he was like, God, take this cup away from me. I never wanted to do this. You know what I mean? People, my cousin Fish told me, man, if you don't run for council seat, bro, you will be doing the people a grave injustice. And that did something to me. And everybody was like, come on, man, you got to do something. Because I was already doing the work. I was already putting together events, Kicks for Kids, Easter giveaway, Christmas giveaways. For the flood, I helped everybody in the neighborhood get their FEMA stuff started to get their money. So I was already doing it. I wasn't doing it for recognition.
You were moving as a councilman with no title.
Yeah, I was doing it for my people, man. But they was like, man, if you do that, then you'll have the resources to really help them, which I understand it now, because now I'm going to be honest with you, my community, I love them, because every time I'm doing something, like I do this my next event, Kicks for Kids in August, everybody donate, man. And they know that I'm going to do right with everything.
Right.
You know, and that's all it is. Like, when you build up trust with your community, when they know I'm not finna run off on vacation with their money. I'm not finna do that. Every dime I get, go directly back to the kids, man. Me, I'm gonna tell you, like me, I am closer to my death than I am to my birth. And I mean, when you think about it, it's real. Right?
We all know.
So, the only thing that I can give right now, man, I give you some knowledge, I give you some game. I want to see these kids make it. I want to see the youth make it. I want to see the people coming behind me. I want y'all to make it, man, because I know it's hard out here.
I see that's part of your mission statement, service before self.
Service before self. Like, I really don't care about me. I'm all right. God has blessed me, and I figured it out. I want y'all to figure it out.
About what part of your journey do you feel like you realized your purpose?
I'm gonna tell you, like.
Or was it when your partner told you that you would be doing us a grave injustice?
He told me I'd be a grave injustice if I didn't run for council. But you remember before that, like I didn't want nobody to go through what I went through, man. I know how it feel to want some Jordans, bro, and go get some shoes from Winn-Dixie or Kmart.
Right.
You know what I mean? I didn't want a child to feel like that. I know how it feel to go home, no mama, no daddy. I know how it feel to open up the icebox, look in it, close it, open it again, hoping that some food will mysteriously appear in it. And I did not want nobody to do it, so I'm telling everybody that you can change your situation. Education is your key. Whatever dream you got, use the free education first, right? Like right now, you got everybody want to be rappers, whatever you want to be, rapper, fashion designer, anything. Education is your key. You got to get the education first, you know? And like I used to tell my little cousin and them who want to rap, rapping is wordplay. How you gonna rap and you don't read? Right. That's why it all sound the same.
Right.
Y'all lack subject matter, you know?
Reading really is fundamental.
Yeah, you gotta read, you gotta put the words in to get the words out, you know? So, man, it's all about the people for me, man. Like, it's not about me. I want to see everybody make it. I'm rooting for everybody, bro.
You mentioned you had a book. Could you tell us about that?
Yeah, I got a book called Avenue Blues. Like, Avenue Blues is a collection of poems and short stories from all throughout my life that, remember I told you I wrote when I was going through stuff?
Right.
So I wrote it so that everybody can read it and see, like, dang, he was going through this. So somebody can be like, I'm going through a similar situation, right? So if he can make it, guess what? I can make it. You know, that's what it's about, man. I put my life on fire and I cried in ink. You know what I mean? That's basically what it is. So I'm transparent. I open myself up so that everybody can see that they can make it, man. I want kids in this similar situation, I want them to realize that, hey, man, yeah, life is hard, bro, but you can make it. You can make it. Like, remember you said about leaving the blueprint behind?
Right.
That's the blueprint to making it. Avenue Blues, man.
Can you tell us where to find your book?
You can find my book on Amazon. You can Google search it. Like right now, I'm about to release a PDF form of it. That way, I can get it to the masses for cheap. You know, I don't want people to have to pay over $5 for my book.
I got
you.
I got
so
you.
I'm on the process of working PDF. It's gonna be on my Facebook page, LaHelleAvenueBlues.com, and my Instagram is AvenueBlues_.com. You know, so I really want people to get that, and I want this generation to learn that, yeah, you got it rough. Yeah, life is hard, but man, you gotta believe in something greater than yourself, which for me is the Trinity, so you can make it, man.
I believe you mentioned an event. Do you have any organizations, programs, or other events that you like to inform us about you got coming up soon?
Yeah, I got the Kicks for Kids coming up. I do 3 major events a year, man. I do the Easter Bash where we give away 100, 200 Easter baskets, free food, park, play softball, you know, bring all the family together. The last one was a huge success. It's about love, bringing everybody together. We cooked. We did like 20 sacks of crawfish, getting out everything. So I got that. That's usually Easter Sunday. I got the Kicks for Kids. It's always right before school start, where we give out gift cards for tennis shoes, for kids to go purchase their tennis shoes, because I grew up without new shoes for school, man. And I know what that do to your self-esteem. I want all them kids starting off school with a fresh pair of kicks, a fresh outlook on life, so they can be positive, do their work, and they ain't got to worry about nobody teasing them, or as them youngsters say today, I think it's josing, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't want them josing them, because you know what the josing leads to, man.
Right. Somebody.
Fights and all that, man. So, man, I grew up in the real world, man. Like, I never ever turn my back. I'll never be too big to be in the hood. You can always find me in the hood. You can find me walking in the streets. You can find me like that. I'm not no suburb type, man. So,
Man, before I let you go, man, I want to ask you a couple more questions. I want your opinion or your advice to whether it be at-risk youth or the modern day 25-year-old, 30-year-old, what you call them, man boys? Man childs.
Yeah.
Man, I just want your opinions, man, on the recent spike in violence that's plaguing our city, man, and these kids that's getting in trouble off this internet. You know, a lot of these rappers got these Ricos going to jail. They taking real life stuff to the internet, man. If you could give us your opinions or some advice on it.
Well, yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you, like these kids, man. They're influenced, right, by these rappers, right?
Right.
And most of these rappers, they try to portray this image like they're this, they're that. You know what I mean? Like back in my day, we had positive rap, and then at some point, it all turned to where it all went gangster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the balance stopped, which that's the powers that be. You know what I mean? Playing on us. Cause I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like when I look at the whole rap game, I think about the prison industrial complex, right?
Right.
So if you notice, I want everybody to think about it. You'll never see a commercial for Angola, right?
Not at all.
Angola don't have commercials talking about, oh, we need some people to come here, because They don't need people. Who's advertising for Angola, right?
Right.
So when you think about who's advertising for Angola, it's the rappers. They advertising. Pop pills, shoot somebody, get high, get drunk. See,
Free advertisement.
The art, you know what I mean, supposed to imitate life. But life is imitating art. And that comes from a lack of knowledge. Remember when I told you knowledge makes you responsible?
Mm-hmm.
See, remember, like kids, they on the internet all day, and all they doing is looking at mess. Take 5 to 10 minutes, man, and get you some knowledge, right? Read you some knowledge. What you get is what you put in your body, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's spiritual. The devil was the head musician. God kicked the devil out of heaven. So the devil uses music to destroy us. So our music has actually turned around and started destroying us, because all these kids, all of them, they want to act like these rappers, right? And the rappers ain't telling them the truth. They ain't telling them, hey, you get caught with this dirty chopper.
They're leaving the gray areas.
Yeah, you get caught with this dirty chopper, boy. That's 10 years. You get caught with this dog food, they gonna throw you away. They ain't telling you that. All they telling you is I'm balling, I'm hustling, I'm grinding. You know what I mean? And they perpetuating a cycle that even they don't understand.
Hey,
it's all spiritual.
Some may disagree and say you don't get it. Some may say, you know, it's too far gone, it's too much blood that been shed, or you can't put no food on their table. What you got to say to them individuals?
Say, man, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm from the hood, right?
Correct.
I do understand when blood is shed, it's too far gone. See, this is what acceptance is. Acceptance is being able to accept that just like war and violence is a part of the Bible, just like love and peace is a part of the Bible, war and violence is too.
Takes positive and negative for the world to
Yeah,
go
it
around.
does, man. It's an individual choice. The individual himself got to make up in his mind, I'm not going to do that. Until that happens, there's no group formula for this. This has been going on for the beginning of time. Look at Jesus. Jesus spoke nonviolence, but how did he die?
Violence.
Martin Luther King, nonviolence. How did he die? Violently. You get what I'm saying? Violence is a part of life, man. It's just an individual got to make up in their mind, hey, I'm not promoting violence and I'm not going to perpetuate this cycle. But that only comes from knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. And that's what the world lacks. Like, they going to argue with me. They ain't going to like it. But I'm going to give you this cold, hard,
it is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't.
Because I was out there. I was out there just like them. I understand. At one point in my life, I didn't care about living or dying. You get what I'm saying? So I understand how they feel, man. But I'm just telling them, come home, bro. Come home. Come home. Put your guns down. Put it down. Come home. If you don't want to do that, it's consequences for that. You know what I mean? Just like if you kill somebody, you might think you get away with it. It's going to come back on you or your kids or your kids' generation. Like, you're not going to get away with it.
I think it was Frederick Douglass that said it's easier to repair a broken child than it is to repair or try to teach a grown adult.
Yeah, it is. Because they set in their ways, man. Like, I am smart enough to know that some people can't be saved.
At the end of the day, man, all of us was blessed with will, and I just urge y'all to make these decisions, man, a little more cognizant and conscious, man. Weigh y'all options. Think about y'all families. It's pros and cons, man. It don't take nothing but 60 seconds, 2 minutes, a blink of an eye for life to be gone, and ain't no redos on that.
Yeah, man, that's just like I said, like some of these cats, Tolliver, like once I realize that I can't save you, that's when it's like, I can't speak no knowledge in you. That's when it's like, all right, bro, I'ma holler at you. Because I'm going to tell you, even with Jesus and Judas, right? The Bible say it had been better if Judas had never been born. You know what that means, man?
I don't.
That means it wasn't no saving him.
So that is a such thing.
Yeah, and we gotta accept it.
Right.
See, that's what society wrong at. Everybody wanna paint with colors and, oh, it's a beautiful world. No, it's not. The United States been at war since 1912.
Right.
It's not a beautiful world. You know what I mean? Some of these people cannot be saved. And you gotta realize who they are. And to be honest with you, I'm from the streets. You can't be saved. Before you hurt the rest of the world, feed them to the wolves. I know that sounds harsh, but it is what it is, man.
It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't. Man, I'm gonna ask you one more question before I let you go, man. I wanna know, are you a chief or an Indian, and how important is your role?
Hey, man, I'm humble, bro. I could be either one, because there is no chief without an Indian. The chief had to be an Indian first. You know what I mean? That's just like I'm gonna go back to Jesus and Peter. When Jesus wanted to wash people's feet, Peter was like, no, Jesus, you can't wash my feet. Jesus was like, if I can't wash your feet, then you got to get away from me, bro. You know? So it's called humility, bro. It's like people let their pride get out of whack. Lil Baby and J. Cole got that song, Pride is the Devil. You know what I mean? I done seen too many RIPs. You know, like our pride is out of whack. Our pride is out of whack. It's because we lack the knowledge. As a people, we got to realize who we are and take our dominant place in this world. That's why I could walk in a room full of snakes and hold my head up, because I'm a mongoose.
I mean that.
You know?
I mean that, man. And there you have it, man. We sure appreciate you coming today, bro. Lael Montgomery, and we look forward to having you again, my guy.
Man, I enjoyed you, bro. Anytime you need me, holler at me, man. To the people out there, man, I'm going to tell you, man, put God first, family second, you know what I mean? And do what you got to do to make it, man. Leave all the bull crap in the streets. The streets don't love nobody. The streets want everybody in the grave. When you realize that, it's like in that streets, every dog gonna have his day, man. You'll be lucky to get out of there. If you got your money up, man, get out of there and clean it up, man. Everybody deserves a second chance. But you have to have the consciousness to realize when it's time to get out. I'm gonna leave you with this song. Kenny Rogers had a song. You gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. That's the gambler. That's the real, man. You can use that in your life. Know when to get out, bro.
All right. And that's Trench Talk TV. We'll see y'all again next time.
Avenue Blues. Let's go. Take off. Okay. Yeah. I once was all alone, wandering on my own. How come I got a mourn, live in a broken home? No one will understand, I'm 6 and I'm a man. Got dealt this crazy hand, I play it the best I can. I listened and paid attention, learned from my decisions, thought before I acted and burned my opposition. I read to keep my senses, wrote to leave a witness. In hopes my premonition precipitate you with wisdom. Our love is never ending, music is like we kissing. Sleep is intermission, I woke up so I can listen. Remember my first feeling, my hands reach for the ceiling. I dance like New Edition, this love is never ending. Together since we were children, you had me from the beginning. Beatboxing, breaking and lyrics, you gave me Pac and Biggie. They said we wouldn't make it, cause you wasn't real. Still, they give you labels and they die over deals. I'm sorry for all the pain, I'm sorry for all the rain, I'm sorry for all the games, my love for you remain. Kiss me with your beats, your lyrics are honey sweet. Promise you never leave, my love for you is deep.
I know you hurt, I know you cry. You in that swamp, baby, we gon' ride. Yeah, baby, we gon' ride. Yeah, baby, we gon' ride.
So
many people like to ask me what my love like. Hey, so let me introduce you to my love life. When we talk, love to grab her by the neck and hold her snug tight. Dim the lights, tonight we gon' make love right. Hit her with a couple punches, let me get that ad lib. She know I gotta step, put it on that track for real. She say she want a dub, put it on her back for real. Slide down the spine, words like ice so cold it got her chips. When a nigga on top, that be the day the world stood still. Cause they see the way I please my chick, they say my words kill. Back, watch I eat the tray, bite the back of they bullet bill. See the crib full of equipment, that's just how we live. On the grind, it's 365, me and my bride trying to make a meal. She so sick and tired of all the lies, but she still love me still. Watch I pop a perk and do my work, cause I stand in the field. And if you know your work, bitch, do your work and bet not interfere. No such thing as no, this shit like dope, it'll make you pop a pill. When she throw it back and I take, she call me pop a pill. I ain't got no time to shook and jive, but I still keep it real. So when I'm in the booth, I spit the truth like a clear oil spill.